Okay. In previous study, we have studied, a payment LC, payment LC, payment LC, and a general LC, open LC, freely negotiable LC. Okay, this is the same meaning. Freely negotiable LC, right? So this is the type of LC, type of LC, type of LC, right? Letter of credit, and most of LC is irrevocable. I told you. Okay, so okay, so you have distinguished payment LC, pre-negotiable LC. This is the same meaning, open LC and general LC. Okay, okay. So number 4 we have to go is the payment. Uh, the meaning of honor, the honor. Okay, honor. What is the meaning of honor? The meaning of honor in UCP 600. Okay, this is the fame. This is the fame. The same meaning, the honor in UCP 600. Okay. Okay. And the meaning of honor is the final payment from opening bank or nominate bank. This is the final payment, meaning of a final payment this final payment from opening bank okay, this is the final payment opening bank. So we express the honor in UCP 600, meaning that the fame, the final payment from opening bank, the final payment of the opening bank, or sometimes the final payment and nominated bank. Okay, the meaning of honor is a final payment. Okay, then we have several methods for this honor. Okay, so we have several payment for this honor. The honor we have several methods for this honor. Number 1, payment at site. Payment at site. Payment at site. This is the known of C. Okay, this is the known of C. Meaning that payment at site once bank C document, the payment will be implemented. Meaning that once export beneficiary, right? Once beneficiary present document, bank at site. As soon as the bank see the document, the payment will be implemented. This is we called at site payment. Okay, at site. As soon as bank check it out, the payment will be given. Okay, in this case, we told payment at site. Okay, and deferred payment. Deferred payment. Deferred payment meaning that deferred, delayed payment. The meaning of the deferred payment is bank is responsible for payment but not at site, delayed in some period, okay? So this is the delayed payment. Meaning that bank is responsible for payment. Bank is responsible for payment not at site. In some period later, okay? In some period, payment in some period later. In this case, we called deferred payment. Payment at site is as soon as at the same site, at the same time exchange with document. Okay? So the meaning of honor is the payment. I told you, but we have several different payment here, which is included in the meaning of honor. Okay? The deferred payment. To incur a deferred payment undertaking pay at maturity. Okay, this is the meaning of undertaking payment in maturity. The meaning of maturity is at the due date. Okay, the due date, the payment will be given. Okay, the payment undertaking and pay at The payment is undertaking. Payment undertaking by the bank. The bank confirms the payment, but not at sight, not at the same time as beneficiary present document. Later on, instead, in some time, the payment will be implemented. Okay, we called this method as a deferred payment. So the payment at sight and deferred payment we have distinguished. Okay, and payment after exceptions. Okay, we have another way, but payment after exceptions is the same deferred payment, but a little different. Okay, a little different. So, to accept the bill of exchange draft drawn by the beneficiary and pay at maturity, if the credit is available by acceptance. Okay, and this is distinguishing. Okay, the deferred payment, it is a sort of deferred payment. Payment after acceptance is also a deferred payment type, but this method is to accept the bill of exchange. The bill of exchange, in other words, draft, drawn by the beneficiary and pay at maturity, if the credit is available by acceptance. Okay? Okay, this is the another way. I will give you explanations then. Number 3, annual. Okay, number 3, annual is deferred payment. This is the payment after acceptance. Okay. Payment after acceptance is similar DA, document against acceptance. This is European type. Okay, this is European type. The difference, this is similar. It's not same, the similar. The difference between the payment after acceptance and the document against acceptance is whether, okay, bill of exchange is issued or not. Bill of exchange. We call this one another word, draft drawn. Okay, the bill of exchange, draft drawn. Okay, the payment after acceptance. The bill of exchange is payment after acceptance is similar to document against acceptance, but the difference is whether the bill of exchange, the bill of exchange, another means the draft drawn by beneficiary is issued or not. Is issued or not. Okay, that's the distinction between these two. But anyway, the payment after acceptance is a sort of deferred payment. We have studied in previous page. Deferred payment. But it is a sort. This is a sort of deferred payment. But this payment after acceptance is proceed. proceeded, right? Uh, the confirmations of payment by bank. Okay. Okay. Once the letter of credit notify the acceptance payment, then we can go with these conditions. Okay, payment after acceptance. Okay, payment with acceptance. So we have reviewed the meaning of honor. Okay, the meaning of honor. So we have reviewed the meaning of honor of UCP 600. UCP 600. Okay, and we will study again and the meaning of negotiation then. The meaning of negotiation is purchasing as a purchasing what? As a purchasing document. The document presented by beneficiary. Okay? This is the meaning of negotiations. Okay. The negotiations, any banker, in this case, is a freely negotiable letter of credit, LC, right? I told you. Okay. Anyway, this is the meaning of negotiations. The negotiation as exchange, again, exchange, document, and payment. Okay, the document and payment. Okay, the document which is required, which is requested by RC. Okay, the process of purchasing document presented by beneficiary, we called this is negotiations. Meaning that export provide document requested by applicant import. Requested by import. Applicant, right? Applicant of LC. Okay, this document include most important bill of lading, commercial invoice, packing list, country of origin, etc. Right? Well, this might be a document requested by import. Okay, this process we called negotiations. Okay, we have studied some words, honorable and negotiation. because we needed to detect what this words means. Okay. Again, we will return to type of LC. Again, return type of LC. So we have studied irrevocable again. Irrevocable LC and payment LC and freely negotiable LC, right? And then next we will run deferred payment. Deferred payment, right? Okay, deferred payment LC. We have just grants this, okay? Okay, now if this deferred payment should be distinguished, this is the similar, there is a similar meaning of after acceptance payment after acceptance. I told you just now we needed to distinguish these two types. This is similar, but most distinguishable factor between two is whether bill of exchange, the draft. Another meaning, bill of exchange. Is issued or not. Draft issued or not. Okay, depending on draft. Once the draft issued, we can call the payment after acceptance, but without issuing draft, we can go as a deferred payment. Okay, this is to distinguish between two types of similar payment method. Okay. Okay. Then once we see the deferred payment, we have no draft, as I told you just now. Okay, we have no draft, but we notify like this 60 days or 90 days after submitting presenting document. After presenting document, I'm sorry, after a BL, like that. Okay, after BL. Okay, after BL. After BL, bill of lading. Okay, like this. Okay, it expressed like this: 90 days after BL. The meaning of BL is loading cargo. Loading cargo. Okay, loading shipment, right? Loading cargo. Okay, like this. In this case, deferred payment LC. This is a type of LC I told you, right? Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Deferred payment LC. do not require, do not request, draft, just express, like 90 days after BL, bill of lading. The meaning of bill of lading is that discharging or shipment of the product. This is proof document. This is document proving shipping. Shipping, right? This is document proving shipping. So once this document, the shipping document issued, after shipping document issued 80 days later, the payment will be given. So you don't need any draft. But contrary, the payment after acceptance is a very similar method. This is all belong to deferred. This is all belong to deferred, not aside. Deferred, delayed. But the one critical distinguish is whether draft is issued or not. Okay. Okay. And then so if we go to the again, okay, and deferred payment LC, deferred payment LC, if we go this way, okay, we don't need draft. So we can save no P for this. No P. We can save the money for paying for draft. Okay? So this deferred payment LC is frequently used among the countries which is not accustomed to bill of exchange draft. Okay? So okay. In this case, compounding bank will accept document. The compounding bank, right? Compounding bank or opening bank will ordering compounding bank or opening bank where order, right? The paying bank. Which bank? Order the bank. Which bank? The bank. This bank is a paying bank. Okay, the banker to what? The banker will okay, compounding bank will order. The compounding bank and opening bank will order, in this case, the deferred payment the bank, this bank is a deferred payment bank. Okay, we call this as a deferred. Oh, sorry. Deferred payment bank, right? This bank is usually has account opened by confirming bank or opening bank. And this confirming bank and opening bank has a account with the depositions. Okay, account with the okay. These two bankers, account. Right? From these two bankers' accounts, the deferred payment will pay after deferred date. And according to the directions of, according to the ordering of these two bankers, the deferred payment banker will issue the document, the deferred payment undertaking. The document called deferred payment undertaking. Okay, deferred payment undertaking. The deferred payment undertaking. Okay, deferred payment undertaking. So, this document proves that in a certain days later, deferred payment banker will pay the payment, okay, from the account of a confirming bank and opening bank. Okay, so to let deferred payment bank pay in certain day later, confirming bank or opening bank should open account with the depositions as much as to pay deferred payment. So once, so it is likely this bank has an account already of a confirming bank or opening bank, and in a due date, this deferred payment bank will pay from the account of these bankers. Okay, but prior to payment, deferred payment, once accepted according to the ordering of these two banks, whether it is a confirming bank or opening banker, deferred payment banker will issue deferred payment undertaking. This is a sort of a document, right? Document proving that in a certain day later, deferred payment banker will pay beneficiary to the amount. Okay. Okay, and then in this case, usually one thing we have to distinguish is these two types. I told you this is similar. Okay, I told you payment. I told you payment after acceptance and also nuisance LC. Also nuisance LC. Okay. Okay. This is distinguished these two types of LC, but One distinguish between these systems as in case of deferred payment letter of credit, they do not request draft. This is big difference. They do not request draft. No draft required. Okay, no draft required in case of draft payment. Okay, so this is a similar system. These three are similar system, but one critical distinguish between these is that in case of deferred payment, the bank do not request draft. Okay, draft. The meaning of draft is bill of exchange. Bill of exchange. Okay, so you have to distinguish these. Okay, bill of exchange. Okay, and then we will go similar, this time the similar one, the acceptance LC, okay, and then nuisance LC. We will go step by step, okay. Because these three type of LC is quite similar, except one distinguish, not requiring bill of exchange. Okay, then we will go to the acceptance LC. This, okay. Okay, we will see the acceptance we'll see. Okay. Okay. Here we will review the acceptance LC. What is the acceptance LC? Okay. Acceptance LC require draft. What is draft then? The bill of exchange. Another word, draft is bill of exchange. Okay, we have to understand the meaning of a draft. The draft, in other words, bill of exchange. What does that mean? This is the system of a very specific system. Of LC. Okay. Okay, this bill draft originally, the meaning of draft of exchange. What is the exchange? The meaning of bill of exchange. The exchange. Beneficiaries right to correct payment. Okay. Exchange beneficiary right to correct the payment with payment. Okay. With the payment from negotiation bank. Okay, The meaning of exchange. Okay. The meaning of exchange is to exchange beneficiary's right to correct payment from import. Actually, you need to understand the system of LC. Okay, LC, how it works, we have to review, we have to recall the system of LC. Okay, this is very important. I told you several times to understanding this system of letter of credit is very important, right? And then actuary, beneficiary should reclaim should claim okay, the beneficiary should claim payment directly from import, right? From import. If there is no LC system, okay, but in the LC system, because of no credit between two parties, sometimes most of the parties do not know each other completely. In this case, we called there is no credit between two parties. So, instead of import, negotiation bank usually at beneficiary side pay in advance on behalf of import. Okay, import. In this case, the right of a beneficiary to request money to import should be exchanged to this negotiation bank, right? That might be normal and natural because negotiation bank pay in advance instead of import. Then the right to collect money to the import should be submitted, should be exchanged with money with the negotiation bank, right? So this is exchange. Draft. Okay? So in this case, the beneficiary get paid in advance from the negotiation bank instead of import, then the right to collect the money from the import, the right, this is the right to collect the money Okay? This is the right to collect the money. Okay, so we call this is bill of exchange or draft. Okay, so this draft is not necessary in case of deferred payment, but necessary in payment after acceptance and nuisance. I see. Okay, these three type is quite similar. 1, 2, 3 is quite similar, but difference is these two payment after acceptance and nuisance LC required draft, but these do not need a draft. These do not need a draft. Okay, this is distinguished, but all belong to deferred payment. Okay, not aside, but these three also is delayed payment in common. Delayed payment. Payment in common. Okay, so you have to distinguish this. You have to distinguish this. Okay, okay. This is the how the deferred payment LC. Okay, deferred payment LC. Okay,